Guys, welcome to another episode of Rennch. On today's show, you are going to help me make a critical design decision for the Blasphemy build, and I'm going to give you a ton of ammo to make fun of me. All right, I'm at the park out with Mr. Ben right now, who is doing his Frisbee thing, because that's what we do on a regular basis. Aye. That's how he rolls. Got some car stuff I want to talk to you guys about. And I had a comment not long, I read all the comments. You know, I read everything you guys say. I had a comment not long ago that was like, when are you going to finish the Blasphemy build? Hold on, I'm trying to get in the shadow. When are you going to finish the Blasphemy build? And I'll tell you that there's three factors why that car is still unfinished. The first one is money. Building a custom car costs a lot of money. In this case, I have probably $3,000 or $4,000 more of parts to get. There's custom axles and a shifter and a clutch and brake pads that are like apparently impossible to get in America. So there's some stuff that I've got to get. So there's A. B is time. Now, you might think that I can just roll out of bed and jump into the garage, but this is not my full-time gig. It's not even a part-time gig. YouTube pays me about $250 a month in ad sales. So I have to find other ways to actually make money. I'm a podcaster and a public speaker in real life, and so I don't have always a ton of time. I do have to devote my time to income-producing activities most of the time. And that can be challenging, obviously. And then the third reason is what you guys can help me with today, which is engineering. As I've gone through this process, you may or may not realize this, but most of the time I'm doing something on this car, it's the first time I've ever done it, which is the case for my turbo install. And a couple of you guys said months and months and months ago, you may have a problem with draining the oil from your turbos because there's not enough distance between the bottom oil drain and the oil pan of the Subaru engine. And you would have been right. So I have to make some sort of scavenge tank that will go under my turbos. And that's where you guys can help me today. You can help me with which of the two scavenge tank concepts I go with. So let's go to the garage and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Good job, pal. Hey, look where I am. Look where you are. Right here. Bring it closer. Come on. Come on. Nope. A little more. A little more. A little more. Okay. All right, dudes. Here we are in the back of Blasphemy. And I'm going to show you the options I have here. And I want you to tell me which one you think looks better. So down here is the oil pan. And then the turbo drain is sort of right here in between these two. So it's got to go from that point and then drain down into there. Problem was that once I routed the line, it had such a flat run from that area all the way to the tank that I just didn't think the oil would drain very well. So I'm going to show you the two options I have for essentially holding the oil once it drains out of the turbo. And then I'll insert a pump somewhere in this area to pull the oil from these little tanks to that oil pan. So option number one is to do a tank basically made out of a tube. This is very vintagey looking, and I'm pretty sure this is what the vintage Porsches had on them before, something along these lines. So it would live basically like under here. There would be a steel tube that would run down directly to this pipe, and it would be capped on each end. So I'd have one filler down here, probably a vent of some sort on top, and then an outlet that would sort of face towards a pump that would probably be mounted somewhere in this area on each side. So it would basically be like this. I'd have these two pipes kind of hanging on each side. It does give a bit of a vintage vibe to it. Maybe put a little bit of a slight angle to it so the oil drains in one certain direction. Option number 2 is some sort of aluminum box that would live somewhere around here. And we would have kind of a similar situation where the oil drain would come out and then it would basically take like a 90-degree, and I'd have like a little small stainless line that would connect these two. And this thing would basically live here. I'm not completely positive where I would run the pump here, but it would be somewhere in this vicinity. Maybe the pump would be there somewhere. So what do you guys think? Should I try my hand at welding an aluminum box and putting some fittings on the end? Or should I go more with this stainless steel vibe and kind of angle it this way? Just a little slight angle, and they live here. Let me know in the comments. I will do whatever you say. So the next video will either be me trying to weld stainless steel for the first time ever in my life, or aluminum, really for also the first time ever in my life, at least in terms of like a permanent thing that has to exist. Because I've practiced a little bit. I have marginal competency with aluminum, so I wouldn't be opposed to trying it. I suppose the third option of all of this would be to combine the two and do like aluminum tubing with the fittings on the end. And I'm not opposed to that either. I would give that a go. So is it stainless steel tubing, and that becomes tank number 1. Aluminum box in the middle is tank number 2. And then aluminum tubing is tank number 3. So which one do you go with? That is the big question. I will do whatever you say. Hit it in the comments, and we'll see you next time.